Okay, so I want to say, I feel the modesty required to confront a negative situation is very interesting because this modesty has to come from a person impulsively, and it's this modesty that brings peace and tranquility to day life. I want to say that it's weird because, like I said, this modesty that is required to confront a negative situation, it has to come from the person because, like, if someone comes at you mad or something with drama or something like that, uh you have to, like, be able to not get attached, to not get emotionally attached to the situation, to, like, not get emotionally attached whatsoever, because, like, there's always, in my day-to-day life, there's always negative people with negative vibes, trying to create negative situations out of thin air, and so it happens every day. There's not a week in my life that it has not happened. What I'm saying? And so it's everywhere. What I'm saying? um Most people would think, it happens once a month, not every day. But like I said, so the modesty, it's not just, confronting a negative situation. What I'm saying? It's not like, what I'm saying, being in a certain atmosphere and, once in a while, what I'm saying, I imagine, I don't know, somewhere in Canada, somebody gets mad and, people will probably, like, they'll be like, oh, like, everybody stares, like, what I'm saying? Like, everybody stares and look, there's somebody mad. What I'm saying? There's someone, acting out. There's someone, making a major scene, you know? And well, um, it's different when you're in an aggressive situation, when you're around aggressive people, when you're, what I'm saying? When you're in a different area, what I'm saying? When you're in a different area and people are accustomed to, how would you say it, fighting, it's different. You have to be prepared. What I'm saying? You have to be prepared, and the modesty comes from, like, my modesty used to come from fear. What I'm saying? It used to come from fear. Now it comes from being depressed. I don't care anymore. What I'm saying? And I see it every day, and it's boring. It's very, how would you say, it's sick, disgusting, pathetic, and to see people that are prepped, with their skit in hand, and or at least that's the way I feel. And so, what I'm trying to say is that this modesty to confront a negative situation has to come from within you, whether it's because of fear or whether it's because of depression or whether it's because whatever. What I'm saying? It has to come within you, because if not, like, if somebody comes at you, like, if you're, I don't know, if you're a worker in an electronic store and somebody comes at you complaining about a certain item that they got sold, what I'm saying? You have to be willing to have the you have to have the tolerance to be able to, how would you say it, to interact with such individual. You have to have the tolerance. You have to have that, how would you say it, that modesty that is required. You have to have it. And like I was saying, it's different when you're in a certain area and you hardly see somebody getting mad. You know, the experience of someone, coming at you, upset, is rare. But when you're in Mexico or in prison or in any other place that has aggressive individuals left and right, ghetto neighborhood, you have to be careful. You have to be careful, you know what I'm saying? You have to be extremely careful, you know what I'm saying? Because if not, you lose focus. You lose focus on, what I'm saying, on what needs to be taken into consideration, you know, day to day life, where you go, what you do, who you talk to, what I'm saying? And so you lose focus of everything. And so what I'm saying is that this tranquility, I mean, this modesty, once you obtain it, whether it's because, like I said, fear or whether depression, once you obtain this modesty that you feel within you, this, how would you say it, this calm, you know what I'm saying? When you're able to interact with an aggressive individual and maintain your calm, you know what I'm saying? You feel it. You feel the modesty. You feel, how would you say it? You feel unattached to the situation emotionally. And so I think that, it's this modesty that brings tranquility to day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? To day-to-day life. And that if you seek it, if you seek it and you keep it, part of your person, where you're constantly feeling it, you know, it's going to change your life.